Hello, this is my Kenshiro drawing here, which I started, and I did it off camera. I started it off camera, and you'll know why in a minute, but I'm doing a background commentary too in front of this video. And that there was my book, my manga book, which I was inspired by to do some drawings. I got this picture of this Kenshiro here from that manga, and I'm going to show and talk about what I did here. So I'm pointing at this chain for some reason. I don't know what to say about that, but okay, I'll just get started anyway. You see the face here, so I had to draw this off camera because there's a trouble with drawing and recording at the same time. If I'm recording with a camera and trying to draw at the same time, I feel like it's watching me and I can't fully concentrate. I can concentrate way better when I do this. And see here, this is the picture. Now you'll notice that it looks a little bit different from this area here. I've drawn the arms a little bit apart. So in the original book, you can see Kenshiro's arm is covering up his bicep. But in my drawing, the bicep is exposed. So this means if I continue with this here, I'm going to have to fill in the bicep area with my own idea of a sketch. And by the way, studying this artwork here by Tetsuo Hara, he has used lots of line work to create shading, which I think it looks amazing. Amazing how he's used line work. Like normally when you think of shading, you think you're like sketching it in with your pencil held sideways, but Tetsuo Hara here, he's used lines to create the shade. And that's what I'm trying to do here. It doesn't look as good as his. His looks really, really clean. But I'll have to. I'm not Tetsuo Hara. I just have to go with my own style. And I started this drawing by drawing an outline of where I think all his body parts are. And I drew it inside a faint line of a square. And then I began with his face. I was thinking, if I can get his face right, I'll continue with the rest of the drawing. And I think I did pretty darn well capturing the fury on his face. He looks pretty furious on his face. And I'd say it's drawn pretty well. I wouldn't say I'm lucky. I think I can draw. But I need tremendous I need tremendous concentration to be able to draw. I need to lock in fully with my brain, with my eyes, and with my mind. And so I've drawn his face with a lot of concentration. Like, I don't know how to describe it. When you concentrate in drawing, it's like it's like there's a projection from your mind and your hand has to follow that projection. It's almost as if your mind is it's making a tracing on the paper, and your hand, you have to really concentrate to get your hand to follow that tracing that's in your mind to get it right on the paper. And that's how I was able to draw this with tremendous patience as well. I am not rushing through this drawing. This drawing took a while to do. If I calculate the time, well, I'm not going to calculate it, I'm just going to guess it. It took months to do, but if I put all the time together, because I spent every weekend, I would just bring it downstairs and add a little bit to it every weekend. And I wouldn't force myself to draw. I would only draw when I feel like it. And the moment I stopped feeling like drawing, that's the moment I stop, put the pencil down, and I don't force myself to draw anymore, because I know if I force myself to draw, it's not gonna look great. So instead, when I want to draw, then I let it flow from my mind through my hand onto the paper. And I have to say, the concentration level, you need to concentrate so well. Like, as if this is the kind of concentration you need. So try to visualize something in your mind, right? Try to visualize it in front of you. It's whatever it is, it's standing in front of you. Let's think of a simple object. A chair, or maybe simpler than that. A stick, a ball. Now, try to imagine it in front of you as if it's actually there, as if you can actually see it. That's the level of concentration I had to have to be able to draw this. And as you can see here, I'm patiently marking lines down. I'm not rushing through anything. I'm observing the artwork by Tetsuo Hara and patiently marking the lines down. And I'm trying to find the shape of his shadings and just kind of lightly sketch them out, and then try to do my own line work of filling in the shading the same way that he's done. It doesn't look like his looks clean. It looks like he's been doing this for a long time. I'm just practicing here. I've started practicing comic book drawing because I actually want to draw my own comic. I want to make up my own comic, my own manga. My own manga would be about a guy who goes about the world challenging people with nunchucks. Like, nunchucks are a weapon where you don't think of using nunchucks in a gunfight, for example, or a knife fight, or a sword fight, or anything like that. You wouldn't take nunchucks to war. Not modern warfare, at least. I don't know about the old days. But my manga will be about a man who does all that stuff. That he's so superb with his nunchucks that he can take it to any level and match anyone's level. So I need to practice. If I want to bring this idea out into the world, I need to practice a lot. And what better artwork to practice from than looking at Tetsuo Hara? Now, I've looked at Berserk artwork, and I think Berserk artwork level is just, it's way up there. I can't reach that level. Maybe if I practice every day for 40 years, maybe I'll reach that level. But for now, I'll stick to as simple drawing as I can. And this drawing here, this took me a long time to do, so I don't know how practical it will be. Maybe I just need to practice more so that I can get these sorts of drawings out quicker. Okay, so looking at his shoulder area here, it looks like I've got all the markings down. It looks slightly different from what's in the book, but there's no need to be exactly perfect. Like, the way I take it is as if the picture I'm drawing is a slightly different frame from the one that's in the manga itself. So it's like Kenshiro was moving and Tetsuo Hara drew one frame of it. One still life frame of Kenshiro when it stopped. And I'm just drawing another frame. That's why his hands are covering his biceps in Tetsuo Hara's art. and in my one it's moved away a little bit. It's as if we've taken a picture at a slightly different time. So I'm using the rubber here because I made the marks as cleanly as I could, but the rubber helps to just shape it out a little bit better. And this here, I'm just trying to draw a shoulder on a separate piece of paper because I want to understand the biomechanics, the way the shoulder is formed. What is the shape of the shoulder? I'm actually referring to a biological picture of a shoulder from a human body encyclopedia. So that's what I'm using to try and understand the shoulder shape here. So before I go and put it down on Kenshiro's shoulder here, I just experimented on a separate piece of paper just to help me understand how the shoulder is formed exactly. And now I'm marking my lines down. Doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be amazing, because we have a rubber which can help to smoothen it out and make it better. The shoulder part takes a little while. You can see the patience I'm trying to have in this drawing. I'm not trying to rush through the shoulder. It's kind of like doing workouts in the gym. I'm drawing today the shoulders. It's shoulders day. So I'm only focused on the shoulders. I'm not looking at the rest of Kenshiro. The other parts of Kenshiro I'll draw another day. The marks I'm making look his shoulder a bit furry. A bit like Super Saiyan 4 Goku's shoulders. Where it looks like he has... No, he does have fur on his shoulders. He has fur on his arms. And that is kind of... That's what it kind of looks like. Okay, now moving on to the neck here because I don't know why. I guess it's next to the shoulder, so it's the next logical place. Maybe I don't want to continue on to the bicep because I got intimidated by the shoulder. Muscle strands going over. Wonder what this looks like in the manga. So because Kenshiro has a lot of muscle and tremendous muscle definition, coming this way, there is a lot of line work and shading used to bring out his muscle definition. And it's all about patience, drawing it patiently. There's no need to rush, there's no deadline, nobody's standing over your head and saying, "Get this drawing out now. We have to get this show out immediately." I have to say, the artists who actually make these drawings themselves, man, they're amazing. They're probably working to deadlines themselves. They're probably sitting on a drawing board all day doing this drawing. They must be so good at just making a quick doodle, a quick sketch. This drawing which I drew probably takes them 5 minutes. I bet Tetsuo Hara could draw this in 5 minutes. I think it's good to understand the biology of the body when drawing bodies because it helps to form the body correctly. Now I'm trying to make a separation here from the shoulder and the bicep and the tricep. So the arm from the shoulder, I need to make a separation. And to create this separation, I need to use line work. As usual, it doesn't have to be perfect because what's going to happen is
No, I can't.
I'm just marking out
I'm doing my own.
the separation of the muscles,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to use the rubber to make it more clean.
Get
You
out.
can already see the bicep standing out after this much shading.
I'm sure if you just keep on looking for the way, you'll find it.
Oh, by the way, I'm using a 2H pencil, a 2H clutch pencil,
There's a passageway.
a hardness
Well,
of
that's a
2H,
good
and
start.
I'm also going to use,
A climbing cliff. Which
So-
isn't it?
what's the other pencil?
Secrets of the
I think
Yiga
it's
clan?
2B.
Is there any clues from the Yiga clan people?
No. I guess
So
they're
2H
like-
for the hard lines and a 2B for
Mm-hmm.
the more darker, more wider lines, because it helps to sort of color it in.
Line of muscle here.
I think this is going to be a long video. I'm recording this right now, but I need to go and cook some chicken. I have my own muscles to look after. I need some protein. Kenshiro is really a great inspiration to me for his how tough he is, his muscles, and he's one of the heroes which I look at when I'm doing my workouts. I'm watching the Kenshiro show. What's it called? Fist of the North Star. And when I'm lifting and my lifting happens to coincide with a fight scene, oh man, you should see what goes on. The rage. Anyway, that's for another time. To discuss another time. We're talking about drawing here. I don't think it's necessary to keep filling up the silence with my voice, with my voiceover, unless you enjoy it. I'm guessing if you're still watching up to this point, you're probably enjoying my voiceover. So I'm guessing you still want me to keep talking. There's only so much I can say about lines and patience and visualization. I am seriously paying attention to detail to the book and trying to I'm trying to make every mark intentionally. I'm not just throwing random marks out there and hoping they stick. I'm not throwing random marks at the wall and hoping they stick. I want each mark to serve a purpose. I want each mark to mean something. And now I'm using the rubber to sharpen things up a little bit. You might notice with my rubber there that I used a knife to cut it so I can shape it in the exact way I need to use it. Okay, so I just carried on with the arm because I thought it would be boring if you just continued watching me draw his arms like this. And you'll notice I've made the marks for his pecs as well. The 7 scars on his chest. The separation of his shoulder to his pecs. So his chest, I've added some shading lines too, as well as define the muscles in his chest. And I pressed quite hard with the pencil because once I sketched it out and I looked back and I took a step back, looked at the drawing and thought, yep, this is how I want it to look. So then I just went harder with the pencil just to lock them lines in, lock them in. And now I'm focusing on the shading of his arm bandage. Funny thing about Kenshiro is every time he gets angry, his clothes explode off, they rip off. Where does he keep buying a new set from? He keeps buying the same clothes over and over again. Where does he get them from? It's like the people who made this show, they're like, we don't have to explain this, it's okay. Like they'll just passively accept it. And we probably do. I just noticed it and thought it was funny. Now I don't mean to praise myself or anything like that, but man, this drawing looks pretty nice, the drawing I've made. You could sit there and think, oh yeah, so what? You're just copying another drawing. But it's not just about copying. It's about studying Tetsuo Hara's art, internalizing it, and then projecting what I've internalized onto my side of the paper now. So if my drawing looks good, that means I'm studying Tetsuo Hara's art quite well. Now my line work's not exactly the same. All I can say to that is I just need to practice, I just need to keep going, keep doing it. One day I'll perfect the line work if I just keep practicing. But the fury on his face is captured really well. I think I remember trying to sketch his face out carefully, and when it came to the eyes, I believe I sketched it out lightly, and then I tried to, take a step back, look at it. Always take a step back and look at your drawing, because when you're zoomed in, sometimes you can't see the mistakes. You need to just step back and see what's going on, and then you can notice things you didn't see when you're up close. And by the way, with the face, so the way I draw, right, and this is another reason why I couldn't record drawing the face. I had to zoom in, I'm literally lying down on the paper with my eye right next to the paper like that. Like my eye is probably an inch or 2 inches away from the paper, and I'm trying to draw really carefully. So if you see what I'm doing here, I've confirmed that I'm happy with the marks made on his ripped bandage thing on his forearm, and I'm locking the lines in by pressing a little bit harder now. I think I'm using the 2B pencil, if I'm not mistaken. And adding some shading in as well. Man, that shading really makes a difference. Again, I'm not trying to praise myself, I'm not. But a good drawing is a good drawing. I'm actually a little bit proud of being able to produce this drawing. I need to practice more to be able to produce a drawing like this faster. so that I can actually make a proper comic. So now I'm studying the Kenshiro picture side by side to see how I'm going to draw his hand, his other hand, and the chain that's going through. It looks like I'm drawing the chain part now, and I'm using the 2B pencil. So I'm using the 2B pencil to lock the lines in. So anything I've drawn with the 2H pencil is a sketch, and anything with the 2B pencil is a lock-in. Now this chain, it took a lot of concentration to draw this chain, because if you was gonna draw a chain link like this, how would you draw it normally if you didn't have a visual reference to look at? You'd probably draw it like a long line and then the shape of the chain link, then a long line and the shape of the chain link. Almost as if it's from a side view, a perfect side view. Which, well, when I'm looking at Tetsuo Hara's artwork for the chain here, it's not like that. It's drawn 3D. So I am trying really carefully here to draw it in 3D and lock the lines down in 3D. And this actually takes a lot of care because it's easy to overlap the lines at the wrong place. And by the way, any of the straight lines that you see in this drawing, it's not made by a ruler. It's made by just being as careful as possible, as slow as I need to be, and as accurate as I can. And slowness really helps with the accuracy. Here you can compare Kenshiro's face size to my thumb. Oh no, my voice dropped. I think I've just become a man. Have I just transformed into a man just now? Let me check if I have a chest hair. I have one chest hair. My voice just dropped right now. Is this a new puberty? What's going on? I'm changing. Oh no. My muscles, they're growing. I'm transforming. I'm guessing that nobody's watching up to this point. That's why I'm being a little bit silly. If you are watching up to this point, mark it down in the comments by saying what code word should we use? Put the code word nunchaku. You know, nunchucks. So, no. Put the code word chains. Chains. Not 2 chains, just chains. And then I'll know that you've watched up to this point. It's not really about watching up to this point. You can watch if you wanna. I'm guessing you are interested in drawing videos. Can you see how careful I'm trying to be? I'm trying really hard not to make a mistake. And in turn, I'm being very, very slow, very methodical. I don't want to ruin it. It's reached up to this point now where I don't want to ruin it. Look, it doesn't need to be a rushing game. I need to make sure that every single chain link links correctly. And I don't want to have to deal, at this point I don't want to have to deal with overlapping lines because I don't want to rub them out. Yeah, I think my drawing looks pretty good compared to the original. It's not that bad. Okay, yeah, so this part here, you see his bicep. So on the original drawing, his hand is covering up his bicep. Unfortunately, I had to draw his hand slightly away from his bicep. So that means I need to now infill this bicep area with my own imagination of how his bicep would have looked if that hand wasn't covering it. So this is the part of the drawing where I'm using my own creative initiative now. So I was able to reference the rest of the drawing by studying Tetsuo Ohara's work, and this part is like a little bit of a test to see, okay, what have I learned from Tetsuo Ohara? Can I infill this spot using my own initiative? Right there is where I want to draw the bicep. Right where the bicep belongs. So where the bicep is, that's where I'm going to draw the bicep. Just in case you didn't realize it. Come on, man, get on with it. Draw! Hurry up! What are you doing? Get on with it. Why is it taking so long? I'm just pacing around my room, watching the same thing as you and giving a commentary on it. Okay, there he goes. Drawing the bicep. So yeah, I'm not using any reference now, I'm just using my imagination to fill in the gap. Let's see how good my imagination is to fill in this drawing. By the way, if you've seen the thumbnail, you've already seen what the bicep looks like, the one I've drawn. Funny thing is, there you go. You can have a look at it now. So, I think the art style that I've used there on the bicep matches the rest of the art style that I've used on Kenshiro. But I think maybe the one I've drawn looks a bit more detailed. No, I'm not saying that my artwork is more detailed than Tetsuo Ohara's. Don't be silly. I'm trying to say the bicep that I've drawn there from my own initiative looks more detailed than the rest of my own Kenshiro drawing. And there's the finished piece. I've just tried to fill this up using whatever lessons I've taken from the rest of the Kenshiro drawing. And it doesn't look too bad. It really looks like his bicep is bulging out like a strong muscle. I don't know what point this recording is going to end, but I imagine it's soon. So, if you enjoyed this and want me to do more videos like this, let me know. Because I do want to do a comic soon of my own. So, I need more practice. I need to do more drawings. And I don't mind recording them and uploading them to the channel with my commentary, as I've just done now. So, let me know what you think. Am I good at drawing? Give me a rating out of 10. And if you reached up to this point, use the code word now, bulging biceps, so that I know that you've reached up to this point in the video. And now I'll leave you alone for the rest of the video to engorge your eyes upon my drawing. I can draw. I can draw. It takes practice. Practice, focus, tremendous focus. Like if you don't have focus, learn it. How do you focus? I can't tell you right now.